An introduction to flying the Cessna 172. A guide for aspiring pilots. Welcome to your first flight. Congratulations on taking your first step towards becoming a pilot. The Cessna 172, often called the Skyhawk, is perhaps the most beloved and widely used training aircraft in the world. With its forgiving flight characteristics, robust design and excellent visibility, the Cessna 172 is an ideal choice for new aviators. This lesson will guide you through the basics of preparing for flight, understanding the aircraft's controls and instruments, starting and taxiing, performing a simple takeoff, basic maneuvers, and conducting a safe landing. No prior experience is needed, just curiosity, focus, and respect for the skies. Chapter 1. Knowing the Cessna 172. The Cessna 172 at a glance. High-wing, 4-seat, single-engine, piston aircraft. Typically cruise speed 120 knots, about 138 miles an hour. Maximum takeoff weight 2,450 pounds. Fuel capacity approximately 56 gallons usable fuel. Range about 640 nautical miles. Now, why train in the Cessna 172? Its stability, gentle stall characteristics and straightforward systems make the Cessna 172 a favorite for flight schools and recreational pilots worldwide. Chapter 2. Flight Preparation. Before you set foot in the cockpit, preparation is essential. Weather check. Verify that conditions are suitable for training. As a student, you'll fly only in good visibility and light winds, VFR. Flight plan. Plan your route. Even if you just go around the local area, always file your intentions with the appropriate authority to inform someone on the ground. Aircraft documents. Ensure the aircraft's airworthiness certificate, registration, operating handbook and weight and balance are on board. Walk-around inspection. Systematically inspect the aircraft's exterior and interior, fuel quantity, oil level, control surfaces, landing gear, lights and general condition. Cockpit familiarization. Before starting the engine, sit in the left seat and get comfortable with the layout. Locate the primary flight instruments, navigation aids, throttle, mixture control, trim wheel and fuel selector. Let's do those things now, shall we? So here is our Cessna 172 Skyhawk standing at Budel Airport in the Netherlands. This is the airport where I used to train, so this is the airport I know best. We start our inspection in the cockpit. And these are all the basic instruments you will use for navigating and flying. These 6 instruments are your basic 6. They are the most important instruments in the aircraft. Without them you will not be able to fly at all. The first thing I do is set the battery on. Flaps down. Check the instruments. Fuel 50%. Amps are good. Oil pressure volts is on. Left vacuum, right vacuum is on. And switch it off. Then we continue our visual inspection of the aircraft. Leading edge. that's this side of the wing. We check for dents, cracks, we check the lights, clear, navigation lights, clear. By the way, these are the landing and taxi lights, navigation lights, strobes, then the trailing edge, and you grab on to the aileron, check the other side. If I pull this down, the other side should go up, and if I pull this up, the other side should go down. Check the flaps, hinges, and the control strut. That's all good. Check the fuselage when we walk to the back. We check the leading edge of the horizontal stabilizer. I also check the cargo bay. Grab onto the elevator. Move that up and down. That should move freely. I should be able to move the vertical stabilizer, but it won't let me. Check the navigation light, and we do the same here. Check the trim tab. Check the fuselage again. Flaps, hinges, and control struts. Trailing edge. Watch the other side. Again, we check the lights, strobe, navigation lights, strut, leading edge, and oil. That's good. Then we check the prop, spinner, and here the inside we check the belt. And that is the pre-flight, people. That's it. Don't forget to check the pitot tube, of course. The holes should be free because those need to be open. But that is the pre-flight. If there are no fairings on the wheels, then you can also check the slip marker, but those are not visible now. Alright, let's talk about the instruments. So as I said, these are the basic 6, your 6-pack. This is your airspeed. It has arcs. These arcs have colors. The white arc means you can use flaps within this range. The green arc means that you can move the control surfaces all the way at any speed. The yellow arc means be cautious with using the control surfaces, and above that you don't want to touch the control surfaces because the aircraft will likely not survive. Artificial horizon, blue on top, brown is the ground. Altimeter, 2 hands. The long hand does the thousands of feet, and the short hand does the the long hand does the hundreds of feet, and the short hand does the thousands of feet. That's correct. Turn coordinator, you need this to make nice and coordinated turns. Keep the ball in the center. We'll get to that. DG, directional gyro. Vertical speed indicator. This indicates whether or not you're descending or climbing or flying straight and level. Then we have engine instruments, fuel, as I indicated before. EGT is the exhaust gas temperature, fuel flow, um, oil temperature and oil pressure, vacuum and amps. Your RPM indicator, then your VOR1 indicator, we'll get to those, VOR2, NDB, those are navigational instruments. This version has the simplified GNS 530 GPS, but it's still very usable. It has a simple autopilot, it has a transponder, and it has a ADF setup for the NDBs. Then we have the key. The key should never be left in the contact like this. Always place the key on the dashboard so everybody sees that the magnetos are not armed, so they can manually turn the propeller if they want to. With a Cessna, it's not really important to do that, but there are aircraft that require this. Then we have the circuit breakers, fuel pump, lights. These are the external lights, the pitot heat, avionics master switch. We have the instrument lights. Then we have the throttle and the mixture. This one doesn't have a adjustable propeller, so that's easier. Alternate static air, we'll get to that in the future. Parking brake, rudder pedals, the trim wheel. We use headsets, but if they fail, you also have a normal microphone. Flap indicator, and here we have more lights. ELT, this is the emergency locator transmitter for when you are when you have crashed. And the fuel selector switch, emergency fuel shutoff. Also, when you crashed and need to switch the engine off in an emergency, there it is. These are your headphone plugs, but we usually have those set up here because it's easier with all the cable management and so on and so on. And we have a clock with a timer function, and that's it. Yep, we got some air conditioning. Well, not really air conditioning, it's just blowing air. And we got some floodlights. And of course we have these screens to protect your eyes from the sun. And that's it. That's the Cessna 172. Chapter 3. Understanding the controls and instruments. Primary flight controls. The yoke. The yoke control is this thing. That's where your hands are on. And it controls the ailerons and the elevator. Pull towards you to raise the nose up and climb. Push to raise the to lower the nose and descend. Roll to the left, roll to the right. The rudder pedals, you put your feet on there and you notice that you can use the top side as well. The top side is for braking and the bottom side is for steering the aircraft on the ground and using the yaw direction of the aircraft. Then we have the throttle, as I said, that controls engine power, and we have the mixture adjust fuel air ratio. Usually you have this full forward for takeoff and landings. In cruise, you're gonna play with this a little bit to optimize your fuel usage and the way the engine runs. We'll get to that. The flap lever, we've seen that, used to increase lift and drag for takeoff and landing phases. The six-pack, as I said, airspeed indicator, attitude indicator or artificial horizon, altimeter, turn coordinator, heading indicator, vertical speed indicator. Alright, now that we know all this, we can actually go ahead and start the engine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the mixture full forward, battery on, I get the beacon on, nav on, pitot heat on, not wait with the avionics until you've started the engine. The reason is that starting the engine may spike electricity usage and may damage your instruments. Magnetos to both and then to start. And she starts. Avionics on. My instructor used to say the propeller in front is to cool the instructor. I can imagine that with some students that, yeah. I'm not gonna brag here, but I was a damn good student. I really was. Okay. We align the GPS. You can see that navigation is internal GPS, but we can also switch to Navate, and for the approach we can use either ILS or GPS approach, but we'll get to that in the future. There is a VOR and a NDB in the region. I know this. A VOR Kleine Breugel. Kleine Breugel is the military base. You're not supposed to fly there. Me and my instructor did it once to see what the response was. Of course, he called ahead to tell him that we were going to do this. You don't do that on what's the word? Now I gotta look for the word again. Unannounced. Jeez. My English is slipping, people. I need to use it more. Okay, GPS is active. Let me get to the navigation radios. Transponder on standby, because we're not flying yet. Let's see, the VOR. 109.6. Nee, hop. 109.6. VOR, Bravo, Bravo, Lima, that is correct. Radial 040 is set up. Distance is 7.2 nautical miles. It's around here somewhere. Okay, so we've started the engine. Seat belts fastened, brakes are set, fuel selector is on, mixture rich, throttle slightly open, master switch on, propeller area clear and ignition engaged. Listen for the engine to catch and settle to idle RPM, checked. Check oil pressure and avionics power up. Avionics are powered and oil pressure is in the green. Alright. Let's see what runway is active here on Boodle. We are remaining in the pattern. You won't hear any ATC because usually I use FS HUD. Runway 21, that's off to the right. Okay, because we are on the grass, flaps up. Because we are on the grass, I'm gonna pull back on the stick a bit to keep more pressure on the nose wheel. Advance the throttle a bit. Bit more because we are on the grass. I released the parking brake. Come on, girl. God, I love this airport so much. I spent so many great hours here. I miss it, I really do. But at this moment, it is way too expensive for me to go and fly again. 2 years ago, I had the chance to go back here and sit in the left seat again and fly for about 20 minutes. We flew over our farm in Belgium. Here comes the turn. We brake a little bit. I'm gonna park with the nose 45 degrees in the wind. Set the brakes. Flight controls. Free and correct. No flaps required. I have made my intentions clear to the FOB. We don't, this is a green field, so we don't have air control, air traffic control here. You are responsible for executing your takeoff and landings. Okay. Left magneto. Check RPM drop. Both. Right magneto. Check RPM drop within limits. Both. Run up check. Completed. Alright. Let's see if I can still fly a Cessna. Circuit altitude here at Budel 814 feet. We use 800 feet, so, and it is a left-hand circuit from this side. Set trim for takeoff. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps here, people. Just this view, just, you know, knowing that I'm back at Budel, even though this is virtual. Run up. Release the brakes. Full power. Always full power. Airspeed alive. 60 knots. 70 knots. Rotate. Airborne. We make a left turn after takeoff checks. EGT, fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, all good. Leveling off crosswind, 800 feet, reduce throttle, turn to 030. The forests ahead of me are a huge part of who I am today. We used to play hours and hours in these forests, and because it is military training area, later in my life I spent another lifetime, so to say, in these forests, earning my sergeant stripes. Okay, let's check where we are. Yep, first notch of flaps. Check again. Another notch of flaps and start downwind. Base. Reduce the throttle. Drop down to 400 feet. There's the runway. Oh, she wants to dip a little. And turn to final. Come on. Full flaps. It is very turbulent, but that's always the case here with those woods. They really make you work for your landing. Watch these power lines. We're on the glide slope, too white, too red. On speed. Ooh, she wants to go up again, ballooning. I got you, girl. Bit of a rougher landing than I hoped for. I haven't flown a Cessna for a while, so at least not as 172. I have been flying the 210 and the 182 a lot, and those are slightly heavier and have more power. But it's how we do it, people. Flaps up. And that is your first flight. I'll park in the grass, as we always do. Don't hit the generator. Not sure what that thing is doing out here. I'm not using it. Set the parking brake. Then run up the engine to 1500 feet to 1500 RPM. First avionics off. Oh god, I missed this. I should do this more to perfect my landings again. Next lesson, we're gonna do basic flight maneuvers, steep turns, normal turns, rate 1 turn, rate 2 turn, stall. Stall is a bit scary. You have to um, be prepared for that. And we're gonna do more circuits, so I can explain more what you need to watch for. But this was just a basic first flight, so you know how it works. Well, this was your first lesson. Few more tips. Uh, Chapter 8, Safety and Good Airmanship. Situational awareness. Always know your position, altitude and speed. Stay alert for changing weather and traffic. The weather here right now is going to change. It's going to rain in a few minutes, a few hours maybe. So remember that your aircraft is quite limited. It doesn't have any de-icing other than the pitot tube, so be careful. Checklists, use them every time. I didn't use my checklist this time. They're there to keep you safe and prevent mistakes. Next flight, I'll just use the checklist and do everything as it's supposed to be. Communication, maintain clear and courteous radio contact with air traffic control and other pilots. Especially the courteous part. You don't have to sucker up to them or be groveling or anything. ATC, they're humans too. They can sense that you're a new pilot and they'll help you out as best as they can. The first time I went solo overland, I was really scared for using the radio. But when I entered the Eindhoven CTR, you can see the video in my YouTube, it all came back and you just start to flow and ATC works with you. Went without a hitch. Decision making. Never be afraid to go around or abort a landing or takeoff if something feels unsafe. During my uh, years of flying, I have seen other pilots do stuff that made my neck hairs grow, rise up. Um, I myself have been in a almost accident, as we call it, because I was on final. That is the final stretch in front of the runway. You're going to land and you have first way. Traffic that wants to take off has to wait. This guy with his twin engine Piper something something taxied onto the runway while I was established on final. That meant I had to go around, um, and he couldn't take off because I was above him. So he headed back to the FBO and he wanted to complain about me, but he got an earful, trust me, about the basics. So that was kind of scary, I can tell you that. Um, Good judgment is a pilot's greatest asset. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Simple. If you see the weather change in front of you, and it does, I've seen it happen. It happened to me. Um, Turn around. Don't think I can go around it because you won't. You have a Cessna, not a 747. Um, Always remember your limitations. They are your best friend, trust me. Post flight, tying down the aircraft. We don't usually do that because Cessnas in Budel work around the clock. I mean, I've never seen aircraft being used so much. They use them for pleasure flights, they use them for training purposes. These things are always in use. Uh, Complete post-flight walk-around and debrief with your instructor. We're gonna do those things. We're gonna debrief. I'm gonna tell you what you did right and what you did wrong. Chapter 9, The Path Ahead. Learning to fly is a journey of continuous discovery. The Cessna 172 will be your trusted classroom in the sky, teaching you not just how to handle an aircraft, but how to think and act as a pilot. Every flight builds skill, confidence, and respect for the air. Never hesitate to ask questions, revisit concepts, or practice maneuvers. Remember, every pilot was once a beginner. Your first solo flight, an unforgettable milestone, awaits on the horizon. Your solo, um, I'm not going to be in the cockpit with you because Flight Simulator isn't set up to do that yet. They are working on it. And maybe we'll get it with update 3. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Um, there are programs out there that you can use to share the cockpit, but I think they cost money, so I don't want to press that upon you guys. Then we have the final chapter, chapter 9, The Path Ahead. Learning to fly is a journey of continuous discovery. Oh, we had that. Chapter 10, Resources and Next Steps. Read the Cessna 172's operating handbook. I'm going to make that available for you. Join your local flying club or flight school for additional guidance and camaraderie. Every Thursday we had a come together with all the pilots and all people who worked at the airfield, and we shared drinks and stories. Now, I was, how do I say this? For my birthday, I wanted a pilot's flight case, a real one. Not a leather one, those are way too heavy. I had to bike all the way from where I lived to here. It's not that far, but with a leather bag. So I had a one that was made from Cordura. Really strong, and everything fit in it. All my books, maps, navigational equipment, everything fit in there. Uh, but it was kind of bulky. So one day, one of the pilots came over to me on a Thursday and he said, "Do you have a weight and balance sheet for that bag?" And I went like, "What? Did I miss something?" I was really gullible at that moment. And he said, "Yeah, because it's pretty heavy, you need to have a weight and balance sheet for that bag." And I saw the rest smile and I went like, "Oh, yeah, I fell for it." I completely fell for it. But um, you do all kinds of great things like navigational exercises with everybody in the air, where you have to find like pawns on a map and pawns outside, and you have to cross-reference those. It's cool. It's you, yeah. I hope that I can, we can, as Skies and Dolls, can indulge a bit on that camaraderie. But what I've seen so far with the Sunday flights, yeah, that's definitely happening. So that's always good. Um, yeah, that's about it for now. The document is available on Discord that I just used for this introduction. So that leaves me with thanking you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next lesson. Bye bye.